The biggest lighting myth in smart homes? That you need bright lights to make a space feel larger. The truth is counterintuitive. Strategic dimming combined with outdoor accent lighting can make your rooms feel twice as spacious as flooding them with brightness. This technique works because of how our eyes perceive depth and space after dark, and with today's smart lighting systems, you can automate the entire effect. I'll walk you through the exact settings and placement that interior designers use to create this illusion. Walk into most modern homes and you'll find the same mistake repeated in every room. Homeowners have installed multiple recessed ceiling lights, pendant fixtures, and track lighting systems, all cranked up to maximum brightness. The logic seems sound. More light should make spaces feel bigger and more open. Instead, these rooms feel cramped, clinical, and surprisingly small despite their actual square footage. The problem starts with overhead lighting placement. When you position lights directly above a room, they cast downward shadows that create hard lines along walls, furniture edges, and floor boundaries. These sharp shadow lines act like visual fences, clearly marking where your space begins and ends. Your eye follows these defined edges and immediately registers the room's limitations rather than its possibilities. This effect becomes more pronounced when multiple overhead fixtures work together. Each light source creates its own set of shadows, and when these overlap, they form a complex grid of dark lines that fragment the space into smaller visual sections. Instead of seeing one continuous room, your brain processes multiple shadow-defined zones that feel separate and confined. Bright uniform lighting eliminates the subtle gradations between light and dark that create visual depth. When every corner receives equal illumination, the room becomes flat and two-dimensional. Natural environments never have this kind of uniform brightness. Even outdoors on the brightest day, trees create shadows, clouds provide variation, and surfaces reflect light differently. Our eyes expect and need these variations to judge distance and space accurately. The shadows cast by overhead lighting create particularly unflattering effects on furniture and architectural features. A sofa positioned under bright ceiling lights develops harsh shadow lines underneath that make it appear to sit heavily on the floor, rather than floating gracefully in the space. Wall textures become exaggerated, with every imperfection highlighted by direct lighting. Cabinet faces show every fingerprint and surface variation, making even high-quality finishes look cheap and clinical. Your psychological response to bright lighting works against spatial perception in another way. Intense illumination forces your pupils to contract, which narrows your field of vision and makes you focus on individual objects rather than the overall environment. Under bright lights, you notice the lamp on the side table, the books on the shelf, and the picture on the wall as separate items, rather than elements within a larger, cohesive space. This detail-focused vision makes rooms feel busy and crowded, even when they contain relatively few items. Department stores deliberately use this harsh lighting effect to influence customer behavior. The bright, uniform illumination in big-box retailers creates an uncomfortable, clinical atmosphere that encourages quick decision-making and discourages lingering. This lighting makes the space feel cramped and utilitarian, pushing customers to complete their purchases and leave rather than browse comfortably. The same lighting approach in your home creates the same psychological pressure, making family members and guests feel restless rather than relaxed. The way our brains interpret shadow patterns reveals why strategic darkness actually expands perceived space. When room edges fade into gentle shadows, your eye can't precisely determine where the walls end, creating ambiguity that your brain interprets as extended space. This effect mimics natural twilight conditions, when distant objects become less defined and landscapes appear to stretch beyond their actual boundaries. Professional interior designers understand that darkness can be more powerful than brightness for creating spacious feelings. By allowing certain areas to fall into soft shadow, they hide the visual boundaries that make rooms feel contained. A corner lamp that illuminates the center of a room while leaving the edges in gentle darkness makes the space feel like it extends beyond what you can clearly see. The strategic placement of light sources away from walls maximizes this boundary-hiding effect. Instead of positioning fixtures to illuminate every surface evenly, effective lighting draws attention to the room's center while allowing the perimeter to remain mysteriously dark. This technique makes your eye focus on the well-lit areas, while the shadowed edges suggest unlimited space beyond your direct vision. Table lamps and floor lamps excel at creating this selective illumination because they cast light in specific directions rather than flooding entire areas. A well-positioned floor lamp behind a reading chair illuminates the seating area, while leaving the far wall in soft shadow, making that wall appear to recede into undefined distance. Multiple lamps at different heights create layers of light and shadow that add complexity and depth to the visual environment. Smart lighting systems make this selective approach practical for daily living by automating the complex adjustments needed throughout the day. During active hours, you might need brighter task lighting for cooking or reading, but the system can automatically reduce overall brightness and increase contrast as evening approaches. Motion sensors can activate only the necessary lights as you move through the house, maintaining the shadow patterns that preserve spatial illusion. The automation extends to seasonal adjustments that account for changing daylight patterns. Winter evenings require different lighting strategies than summer nights, and smart systems can gradually adjust the balance between bright task areas and shadowed boundaries as the days grow shorter. These subtle changes happen automatically, maintaining the spacious feeling without requiring manual attention to lighting settings. Color temperature automation works alongside brightness control to enhance the selective lighting effect. Warmer light temperatures naturally create more intimate, boundary-softening illumination, while cooler temperatures can provide task-focused brightness without destroying the overall spatial illusion. Smart bulbs can shift between these temperatures automatically based on time of day and room function. The key insight changes how you think about lighting entirely. Instead of asking how to make rooms brighter, the question becomes how to create the right balance between illumination and shadow to maximize perceived space while maintaining functionality. Those floor-to-ceiling windows that make your living room feel enormous during the day create the opposite effect once the sun goes down. During daylight hours, windows function as visual portals that extend your interior space outward, connecting you to gardens, patios, or distant views. Your eye travels through the glass and incorporates the outdoor environment as part of your room's perceived boundaries. This natural extension makes spaces feel significantly larger than their actual square footage. The transformation happens gradually as evening approaches, but becomes dramatic once full darkness arrives outside. Windows that previously opened your space to expansive views now display nothing but black reflective surfaces. Instead of seeing through to outdoor areas, your eye hits these dark barriers and stops completely. The glass becomes opaque from a visual perspective, creating solid walls where openings once existed. This shift from transparent portal to reflective barrier fundamentally changes how your brain processes the room's dimensions. During the day, windows provide depth cues that help establish spatial relationships between interior and exterior elements. A dining room with a view of the backyard incorporates that outdoor space into its perceived size. The same room at night loses this visual extension entirely, shrinking back to its actual interior dimensions, plus the psychological compression created by dark, reflective surfaces. The reflection effect compounds the spatial reduction problem. Dark windows at night don't simply block the view, they actively reflect your interior lighting back into the room. This creates a mirror-like surface that doubles the visual presence of interior elements while eliminating any sense of space beyond the glass. Instead of windows that suggest infinite possibility, you get mirrors that emphasize containment and boundaries. Your eye responds to these dark window surfaces exactly as it would to solid walls. The visual system processes the black glass as an impenetrable barrier, triggering the same spatial assessment it would make when encountering any other opaque surface. This perception creates psychological pressure similar to being in a windowless room, despite the fact that windows surround you. The brain registers enclosure rather than openness, leading to feelings of confinement that seem inexplicable given the room's actual design. Open floor plans experience amplified problems from dark windows because multiple glass surfaces create a series of visual walls throughout the space. A great room with windows on three sides transforms into a space surrounded by dark barriers that segment the area into smaller perceived zones. Each window becomes a visual stopping point that prevents the eye from flowing freely through the space. The seamless, expansive feeling that defines successful open floor plans disappears entirely, replaced by a fragmented environment that feels choppy and confined. Large sliding glass doors present particular challenges because their size makes the dark surface effect more prominent. A 12-foot sliding door that beautifully connects your living room to the patio during the day becomes a massive dark wall at night. The proportion of this dark surface relative to the room size creates an overwhelming sense of enclosure that can make even spacious rooms feel cramped and uncomfortable. Traditional interior lighting strategies completely ignore this window problem, focusing exclusively on illuminating interior surfaces and objects. Overhead fixtures, table lamps, and accent lights all direct their output inward, leaving windows as dark voids in the lighting scheme. This approach treats windows as non-existent elements in the evening lighting plan, missing the opportunity to maintain their spatial benefits after dark. Even bright interior lighting cannot solve the dark window problem through simple illumination levels. Increasing the brightness of your interior lights actually worsens the contrast between lit interior surfaces and dark window glass, making the windows appear even more like black holes in your visual field. The heightened contrast emphasizes the barrier effect rather than reducing it, creating stronger psychological boundaries that make spaces feel more enclosed. Professional interior designers recognize dark windows as one of the most significant challenges in evening lighting design. They understand that windows represent the largest surfaces in most rooms, and allowing them to become visual barriers undermines every other spatial enhancement technique. Designers approach this challenge by extending the lighting design beyond interior boundaries, treating outdoor spaces as essential components of the room's evening atmosphere. The solution involves strategic placement of outdoor lighting that creates visual continuity between interior and exterior spaces. By illuminating patios, decks, gardens, or even architectural features outside windows, designers eliminate the dark glass barrier and restore the spatial extension that windows provide during daylight hours. This technique transforms windows back into portals rather than barriers, maintaining their spatial benefits throughout evening hours. Outdoor accent lighting requires significantly less power than interior lighting while providing maximum visual impact for spatial enhancement. A few strategically placed landscape lights or architectural fixtures can illuminate enough outdoor area to eliminate the dark window effect entirely. The key lies in creating sufficient illumination to make outdoor elements visible through the glass, while maintaining appropriate brightness relationships with interior lighting levels. The placement strategy focuses on lighting elements that draw the eye outward rather than simply flooding outdoor areas with uniform brightness. Uplighting on trees, accent lighting on architectural features, or pathway lighting that creates depth all serve to extend visual space beyond window boundaries. These elements provide focal points that encourage the eye to travel through the glass rather than stopping at its surface. Professional designers also coordinate color temperatures between interior and exterior lighting to create seamless visual transitions. Matching the warmth or coolness of outdoor lighting to interior schemes prevents jarring temperature shifts that would break the illusion of extended space. This coordination makes the indoor and outdoor environments feel like parts of a unified whole, rather than separate areas divided by glass barriers. Smart outdoor lighting systems can automatically activate appropriate exterior illumination whenever interior lights turn on, ensuring consistent spatial enhancement without manual intervention. Motion sensors can detect indoor activity and trigger coordinated outdoor scenes that maintain visual continuity throughout the evening. This automation makes the spatial benefits of outdoor lighting practical for daily use, rather than requiring constant manual adjustments to maintain the effect. Time-based automation can also adjust outdoor lighting intensity to match changing interior lighting needs throughout the evening, maintaining optimal visual relationships as indoor scenes shift from active task lighting to relaxed ambient illumination. Most people experience an unexplained uneasiness when they move through their homes at night, but they can't pinpoint the source of their discomfort. The culprit often lies in the chaotic mixture of light colors scattered throughout their rooms. A typical home might feature warm 2700 K bulbs in the bedroom, cool 4000 K lights in the kitchen, bright 3500 K bathroom fixtures, and daylight balanced 5000 K bulbs in the home office. Each individual lighting choice might seem reasonable in isolation, but together they create a jarring sensory experience that disrupts the visual harmony of your living space. The specific clash between warm bedroom lighting and cool kitchen illumination creates particularly noticeable problems in open floor plans. When you install 2700 K bulbs in your living room and 4000 K fixtures in an adjacent kitchen, the transition between spaces becomes visually harsh and uncomfortable. The warm living room lights cast a golden, cozy glow that feels inviting and relaxing. Step into the kitchen and the cooler 4000K lighting immediately shifts to a white-blue tone that makes the space feel clinical and sterile. This abrupt color change forces your eyes to constantly readjust as you move between areas, creating visual fatigue and subconscious stress. Color temperature inconsistencies fundamentally alter how furniture and decor appear throughout your home. A beautiful wooden dining table that looks rich and warm under 2700K lighting appears yellow and dingy when viewed from a kitchen lit with 4000K bulbs. Fabric colors shift dramatically between spaces. A blue sofa might look navy under warm lights but appear purple or gray under cooler illumination. Your carefully coordinated color scheme becomes distorted and disjointed, making expensive furniture and decor investments look cheap or poorly chosen. Skin tones suffer particularly dramatic changes under inconsistent lighting temperatures. Warm, 2700K lighting flatters human skin by enhancing natural warmth and minimizing imperfections. Cool, 4000K lighting does the opposite, emphasizing shadows, making skin appear pale or sickly, and highlighting every blemish or wrinkle. Family members photographed under different lights throughout the same evening will look like completely different people, with unflattering variations in skin color and texture that no amount of camera adjustment can correct. The bathroom presents one of the most common examples of temperature clash problems. Many homeowners install bright 3500K or 4000K bulbs in bathrooms for task lighting, reasoning that cooler light provides better visibility for grooming activities. However, when someone moves from a warm-lit bedroom or hallway into a cool-lit bathroom, the contrast becomes jarring and uncomfortable. The bathroom lighting makes the warm lights in adjacent spaces appear yellow and dingy by comparison, while the bathroom itself feels cold and institutional rather than comfortable and inviting. This temperature inconsistency triggers subconscious stress responses because human brains expect lighting environments to remain relatively stable. Natural daylight shifts gradually throughout the day, moving from cool morning light to warm afternoon rays to golden evening tones. These changes happen slowly and predictably, allowing our visual system to adapt smoothly. Artificial lighting that jumps between dramatically different color temperatures creates an unnatural environment that keeps our brains in a constant state of visual adjustment and mild stress. Smart home systems often worsen temperature inconsistency problems because they give homeowners individual control over every light fixture. People adjust different lights at different times for various activities, creating even more chaotic temperature combinations throughout their homes. A smart bulb in the living room might be set to warm white for evening relaxation, while kitchen smart lights remain at cool white for cooking tasks, and bedroom fixtures get adjusted to different temperatures for reading or sleeping. This increased control leads to more temperature variation, rather than better lighting harmony. The frequent adjustments possible with smart lighting make temperature consistency more challenging to maintain manually. Unlike traditional lighting systems where all bulbs maintain their fixed color temperature, smart systems allow constant changes that can destroy visual harmony, if not carefully managed. Individual family members might adjust lights to their personal preferences without considering how their changes affect the overall lighting environment throughout the home. Professional interior designers approach color temperature through strategic zoning that creates natural flow between spaces while maintaining visual consistency. Instead of selecting different temperatures for each room based on function alone, they consider how spaces connect and transition into one another. A professional might use 2700K throughout main living areas, 3000K in transition spaces like hallways, and reserve cooler temperatures only for specific task areas that can be visually separated from warmer zones. The zoning approach recognizes that most people spend their time moving between connected spaces rather than remaining in single rooms. Living rooms flow into dining areas, which connect to kitchens, which lead to family rooms. Professional designers light these connected spaces as unified environments rather than separate rooms, ensuring that temperature transitions feel natural and comfortable rather than jarring and disruptive. Creating temperature zones also allows for functional lighting differences while maintaining visual harmony. A kitchen island might use slightly cooler task lighting for food preparation, but the overall kitchen ambient lighting matches the adjacent living spaces. Bathroom vanity lighting might provide cooler illumination for grooming tasks, but overhead ambient lighting maintains temperature consistency with hallway and bedroom lighting. The revelation that consistency matters more than specific temperature selection frees homeowners from perfectionist concerns about choosing the ideal Kelvin rating for each space. A home lit consistently at 2700 K throughout will feel more comfortable and harmonious than a home with perfectly chosen but inconsistent temperatures in each room. The visual flow and reduced eye strain from consistent lighting creates better overall comfort than any specific temperature optimization. Smart lighting systems excel at maintaining temperature consistency across zones while still allowing brightness adjustments for different activities and times of day. Automated scenes can ensure that all lights in connected spaces maintain the same color temperature while adjusting intensity levels for specific needs. Evening scenes can dim all lights uniformly while maintaining temperature harmony, and morning scenes can brighten spaces without introducing temperature conflicts. Advanced automation takes this consistency further by coordinating temperature changes throughout the day. All lights can gradually shift from slightly cooler morning temperatures to warmer evening tones together, maintaining harmony while providing the circadian lighting benefits of temperature variation. This automated coordination ensures that temperature consistency remains effortless rather than requiring constant manual attention to multiple lighting controls. The most powerful smart lighting technique for expanding interior space happens outside your home, yet most people completely ignore this opportunity. While homeowners spend thousands on interior lighting systems, they leave their outdoor areas completely dark, missing a simple trick that can make rooms feel twice as large. Strategic outdoor lighting transforms those dark window barriers into visual portals that extend your living space far beyond its actual walls. Lighting patios, balconies, and yard areas creates visual continuity that tricks your brain into perceiving expanded interior dimensions. When you illuminate the deck outside your living room sliding door, that outdoor space becomes part of your room's perceived boundaries rather than a dark void that stops your eye at the glass. The illuminated patio appears as an extension of your interior floor plan, making your living room feel like it includes both indoor and outdoor square footage in its spatial calculation. Most homeowners treat outdoor lighting as purely decorative or security-focused, completely missing its spatial enhancement potential. They install motion-activated floodlights for safety or string lights for ambiance, but never consider how outdoor illumination affects interior room perception. This oversight leaves massive spatial enhancement opportunities unused, forcing interior rooms to feel confined by dark window boundaries every evening. Outdoor accent lights specifically draw your eye beyond window boundaries and create depth perception that makes interior spaces feel dramatically larger. A single spotlight illuminating a tree or architectural feature outside your dining room window provides a focal point that pulls your vision through the glass and into the outdoor environment. Your brain processes this extended visual field as part of the room's spatial dimensions, automatically expanding how large the dining room feels. The key lies in creating focal points rather than flooding outdoor areas with uniform brightness. A landscape light highlighting a garden sculpture works better than bright floodlights covering the entire yard, because your eye needs specific elements to focus on through the window. These focal points provide reference markers that establish depth and distance, making your brain calculate expanded spatial relationships that include both indoor and outdoor elements. Balcony lighting placement requires particular strategy to maximize interior space expansion. Uplights positioned to illuminate balcony railings or overhead structures create architectural definition that extends your room's perceived ceiling height and width. String lights or lanterns placed at different heights on a balcony create depth layers that suggest extended space beyond the window. Even small apartment balconies can make adjacent interior rooms feel significantly larger when properly illuminated with strategic accent lighting. Garden spotlighting creates depth perception by illuminating elements at various distances from your windows. A path light near the house, a tree uplight in the middle distance, and accent lighting on a far fence or structure create depth layers that make outdoor areas appear expansive and three-dimensional. Your eye follows these illuminated elements into the distance, incorporating all visible outdoor space into its spatial assessment of adjacent interior rooms. Architectural lighting on exterior building features maximizes the space expansion effect by highlighting elements that extend your home's visual boundaries. Uplighting on exterior walls, accent lights on columns or pergolas, and linear lighting under eaves create defined outdoor spaces that feel like exterior rooms rather than undefined darkness. These architectural elements provide structure that helps your brain process outdoor areas as usable space extensions rather than empty voids. Smart lighting systems excel at coordinating indoor and outdoor illumination to create seamless spatial experiences. Traditional outdoor lighting operates independently from interior lights, creating disconnected lighting environments that fail to maximize spatial benefits. Smart systems can synchronize outdoor accent lights with interior scenes, ensuring that outdoor illumination complements interior lighting levels and color temperatures for unified spatial perception. Timing strategies that automatically activate outdoor lighting whenever interior lights turn on eliminate the manual coordination required to maintain spatial enhancement effects. Motion sensors can detect interior activity and trigger appropriate outdoor lighting scenes that support expanded spatial perception throughout the evening. This automation ensures consistent spatial benefits without requiring homeowners to remember complex lighting sequences or manual adjustments every time they use their living spaces. The coordination between indoor and outdoor smart lighting creates truly seamless experiences that make the distinction between interior and exterior space feel arbitrary rather than definitive. When your living room lights dim for evening relaxation, coordinated outdoor lights can simultaneously activate to maintain visual continuity through windows. When you increase interior brightness for activities, outdoor accent lights can brighten proportionally to prevent windows from becoming dark barriers that destroy spatial flow. Advanced smart systems can create dynamic lighting scenes that shift the perceived boundaries of interior space throughout the evening. An evening entertainment scene might brighten both interior and exterior spaces to create an expansive feeling for hosting guests. A relaxation scene could dim interior lights while maintaining gentle outdoor accents that preserve spatial connection without overwhelming brightness. These automated adjustments make professional-level spatial enhancement accessible through simple voice commands or app controls. Smart outdoor lighting systems can genuinely double the perceived size of interior rooms by eliminating dark window barriers and incorporating outdoor space into interior spatial calculations. A living room with properly illuminated outdoor areas feels like it includes patio, garden, and architectural spaces in its overall dimensions. The psychological impact of this expanded perception creates genuine comfort improvements that make homes feel more spacious and luxurious despite unchanged interior square footage. This technique maintains its effectiveness year-round, providing spatial benefits even during winter months when outdoor spaces remain unused for activities. Snow-covered gardens illuminated by landscape lighting still provide visual depth and spatial extension through windows. Architectural lighting on exterior features continues creating defined outdoor spaces that expand interior room perception regardless of weather conditions or seasonal usability of outdoor areas. The outdoor lighting approach works particularly well in urban environments where outdoor space is limited but highly visible through windows. Even small courtyards, narrow side yards, or compact balconies can provide significant spatial enhancement when properly illuminated, making city apartments and townhomes feel more spacious despite tight lot constraints. Understanding all these lighting principles means nothing if you can't apply them consistently in daily life. Most people start with good lighting intentions. They research color temperatures, plan layered lighting schemes, and even purchase quality fixtures. Then, reality hits. Manually adjusting multiple lights throughout the house every evening becomes tedious and time-consuming. Remembering to coordinate indoor and outdoor lighting requires constant attention. Maintaining consistent color temperatures across zones demands ongoing vigilance that few people can sustain long-term. The complexity of manual lighting control defeats even motivated homeowners within weeks of installation. You might remember to dim the living room lights and activate patio lighting for the first few dinner parties, but daily execution becomes increasingly sporadic. Work schedules, family responsibilities, and simple fatigue mean that sophisticated lighting strategies get abandoned in favor of convenient wall switches that control everything at full brightness. Your expensive smart bulbs end up functioning exactly like traditional fixtures, either on or off, with no attention to spatial enhancement, color temperature coordination, or outdoor integration. Without consistent application, even the most effective lighting knowledge becomes useless decoration. Knowing that selective lighting creates spatial depth doesn't help if you only implement the technique occasionally. Understanding color temperature harmony provides no benefits when half your lights remain at default factory settings. The gap between lighting knowledge and daily practice renders sophisticated lighting strategies ineffective for improving actual living experiences. Smart lighting scenes solve this complexity problem by combining multiple lighting adjustments into single automated configurations. Instead of manually adjusting brightness levels, color temperatures, indoor layering, and outdoor coordination separately, scenes package all these elements together in preset combinations that activate simultaneously. A properly configured scene adjusts dozens of individual lighting parameters with one command, making professional-level lighting techniques